Courtney, that was bloody fantastic.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, Courtney. Something has changed in you. Trust me. In the time you were on the show last year to now, your interaction with the audience, the confidence. I think this has been my favourite performance of you so far.
There are moments in television history that transcend entertainment. Moments where raw talent collides with opportunity, where a single performance can change everything. For Simon Cowell, a man who has built an empire on discovering stars, one particular audition stands out among thousands. It wasn't just the voice that moved him, it was what came after that would haunt him for years. In 2018, a 13-year-old girl from a small English village walked onto the America's Got Talent stage. Her name was Courtney Hadwin, and within 3 minutes, she would capture the hearts of millions. But behind the viral success and the record deal lay a story far more complex than anyone anticipated. Today, we're exploring the untold truth about what really happened to Courtney Hadwin and why Simon Cowell's recent reflections have shocked the entertainment industry. This is a story about dreams, pressure, and the price of fame when it comes too soon. County Durham, England. A region known for its industrial heritage, rolling countryside, and tight-knit communities. In this landscape, far from the glitz of Hollywood or London's West End, Courtney Hadwin discovered her voice. Born in July 2004, she grew up in Heselden, a former mining village where everyone knows everyone, and dreams of stardom seem impossibly distant. Music wasn't just a hobby for Courtney, it was her language. While other children her age were absorbed in video games or social media, Courtney was studying the greats. She devoured performances by Janis Joplin, Tina Turner, and Etta James. There was something about the raw emotion in their voices that resonated with her own spirit. She would practice for hours, her powerful voice echoing through her family home, startling neighbors who couldn't believe such sound came from such a small girl. Her parents, Paul and Anne-Marie, recognized early that Courtney possessed something extraordinary. But recognizing talent and nurturing it are two different challenges entirely. The Hadwin family wasn't wealthy. Supporting a daughter's musical aspirations meant sacrifice, real, tangible sacrifice. Paul took on extra work, delivering pizzas in the evenings to help pay for vocal lessons and travel expenses. Anne-Marie coordinated schedules, drove to competitions, and became Courtney's fiercest advocate. By age 11, Courtney was performing at local open mic nights, her confidence growing with each appearance. A video of her singing at a school lunch break went viral locally, spreading through Facebook and catching the attention of vocal coaches across the region. People started talking. This wasn't just a talented kid, this was something different, something special. The competitions followed naturally. Teen Star UK, in 2015, gave her a taste of professional competition. She reached the grand final, her interpretation of Bob Dylan's Make You Feel My Love, earning standing ovations. In 2016, she won Hartlepool's Performer of the Year award, a significant achievement for someone so young. That same summer, she opened for Sister Sledge at the South Tyneside Festival, performing before 18,000 people. The experience was electrifying and terrifying in equal measure. But it was The Voice Kids UK in 2017 that truly prepared her for what was coming. She joined Danny Jones's team, advancing through multiple rounds with performances that showcased her unique ability to channel classic soul and rock through a teenage voice. She finished as a finalist, and suddenly, Courtney Hadwin wasn't just a local sensation. She was on the national radar. Fast forward to early 2018. Producers from America's Got Talent were scouting international talent, and Courtney's name kept appearing. The invitation came. Would she audition for season 13? For the Hadwin family, this represented both an incredible opportunity and a daunting challenge. America's Got Talent wasn't just another competition. It was a global platform with hundreds of millions of viewers. The day of her audition, Courtney was visibly nervous. Behind the curtain, she appeared to be just another shy teenager, fidgeting with her hands, struggling to make eye contact with host Tyra Banks. When asked about herself, her answers were quiet, almost whispered. The judges exchanged glances. Simon Cowell, known for his brutal honesty, looked skeptical. He'd seen thousands of auditions, and nothing about this timid girl suggested she was about to deliver anything remarkable. Then the music started. Otis Redding's Hard to Handle, a song that demands confidence, soul, and raw power. And in that instant, everything transformed. The shy girl disappeared. In her place emerged a performer of stunning intensity. Courtney's voice exploded across the stage, raspy, powerful, completely uninhibited. She moved like someone possessed, channeling the spirit of rock and soul legends. Her energy was infectious, chaotic, and utterly captivating. The audience leaped to their feet almost immediately. Howie Mandel's jaw dropped. Mel B started screaming. Heidi Klum was dancing in her seat. And Simon Cowell? For perhaps the first time in AGT history, Simon was genuinely speechless. His expression shifted from skepticism to shock to something approaching awe. When he finally spoke, his words carried unusual weight. You walked out looking like one person, and then you sang and you turned into this incredible performer. It was like watching a lion emerge. Howie Mandel, unable to contain his excitement, slammed the golden buzzer, sending Courtney straight through to the live shows. Golden confetti rained down as Courtney stood center stage, overwhelmed and tearful, barely able to process what was happening. Within 24 hours, her audition video had millions of views. Within a week, it had surpassed 100 million. By the time she performed in the quarterfinals, the number had climbed past 300 million. Courtney Hadwin had become a global phenomenon virtually overnight. Success on America's Got Talent isn't just about talent. It's about timing, marketability, and fitting into a narrative. Courtney had all three. The media immediately labeled her the next Janis Joplin, a comparison both flattering and dangerous. She was the shy girl with the explosive voice, the small-town teenager taking on the world. It was a perfect story. But behind the scenes, the machinery of the entertainment industry was already in motion. Simon Cowell, as head of Psycho Entertainment, saw immense potential. This wasn't just about winning a competition. This was about building a brand, launching a career, creating a star. Courtney advanced through the competition with consistently powerful performances. Each week brought new pressure. She had to deliver not just good performances, but memorable ones. The expectations were enormous. Week after week, she closed the show, carrying the weight of the finale slot. For a 13-year-old, the psychological pressure was intense. She ultimately finished 6th in the finals, a result that surprised many who'd expected her to win. But the placement almost didn't matter. Courtney had achieved something more valuable than the AGT title. She'd captured global attention and, more importantly, Simon Cowell's interest. In December 2018, the announcement came. Courtney Hadwin had signed a recording and publishing contract with Psycho Music in partnership with Arista Records. For a 14-year-old from County Durham, it seemed like the ultimate dream realized. In interviews, she spoke excitedly about writing original music and staying true to her artistic vision. What she couldn't know was how challenging that would become. The reality of a major label contract is complex under any circumstances. For a teenager still developing her artistic identity, it can be overwhelming. Recording schedules don't accommodate school terms. Studio sessions don't pause for teenage anxiety. Marketing strategies don't always align with personal authenticity. Courtney found herself in an adult world operating at an adult pace. There were meetings with executives, discussions about image and branding, pressure to record radio-friendly material. The creative freedom she'd imagined began to feel more like creative direction from others. What does it mean to be 14 years old and signed to a major record label? For Courtney, it meant living between two worlds, the normal teenage life she'd left behind in England and the high-stakes music industry she'd entered. The travel alone was exhausting. Flights between the UK and US became routine, but the jet lag never did. Recording sessions would stretch long into the night, with producers and songwriters working to craft the perfect commercial sound. Courtney, still finding her voice as an artist, found herself pulled in directions that didn't always feel authentic. In later interviews, she would describe the experience with painful honesty. "Everyone around me was telling me who I should be," she reflected. The songs being written didn't always reflect her experiences or emotions. The production styles sometimes clashed with the raw, gritty sound that had made her famous. She felt molded rather than mentored, packaged rather than nurtured. The mental toll began to show. Courtney had always been somewhat shy off stage, but now that shyness deepened into something more concerning. The constant scrutiny, the pressure to perform, the loss of normalcy, it all accumulated. She was missing school, missing friends, missing the simple pleasures of teenage life. Her family tried to provide stability. Her father continued working multiple jobs to support her career while also trying to maintain some sense of normal family life. They moved temporarily to Los Angeles to help Courtney navigate the American entertainment landscape. But even with their support, the isolation was profound. Social media, which had initially been a source of connection with fans, began to feel like another source of pressure. Every post was analyzed, every photo scrutinized. The comments ranged from adoring to cruel, and at 14, Courtney lacked the emotional tools to filter them effectively. Behind the viral videos and the exciting announcements, a young girl was struggling. Gradually, then suddenly, Courtney disappeared from public view. The social media posts became less frequent. Planned promotional appearances were quietly canceled. New music that had been promised failed to materialize. The girl who had seemed poised for superstardom simply faded. Fans were confused and concerned. Speculation ran wild on internet forums and social media. Some suggested creative differences with the label. Others worried about her health. Conspiracy theories emerged. Where was Courtney Hadwin? The truth, as is often the case, was more complex than any single explanation. Courtney hadn't quit or given up. She'd simply reached a breaking point. The combination of industry pressure, loss of creative control, and the fundamental challenge of being a teenager in an adult industry had become unsustainable. In an industry that moves relentlessly forward, always searching for the next big thing, Courtney's withdrawal was barely noted by executives. There was no dramatic confrontation, no public falling out. She simply stepped back, and the machine continued without her. Meanwhile, Simon Cowell's attention had already shifted to new seasons, new contestants, new opportunities. This isn't necessarily callousness, it's the nature of the business he operates in. Psycho Entertainment deals with hundreds of artists, and Simon's role is more executive than personal mentor. But Courtney's story was unfolding away from cameras and headlines. She was making a different kind of choice, one prioritizing her mental health and artistic integrity over industry success.